Audio check. Check 1, check 2, check 3. Hey, audience, can you hear us okay? Hey, Vincent, thanks for joining us. Hey, Vincent, thanks for joining us. Just doing an audio check here really quickly. Can everyone hear us okay? Thanks, Anhana. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will be live in about 7 minutes. See you shortly. All right. What's up, everyone? Good afternoon. I'm Melissa Knight. You all know me. The person you don't know is my wife, Melissa. I invited her on the show today because we're actually starting a new show together. We're going to be starting a new show called Night Squared. So, anyway, I wanted to invite her because we're really excited about the fact that our conference is making its inaugural debut starting tomorrow, Apk Secure. We're super excited about that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that with Mel and all of you, especially since the topic of this show is how to hack APIs. So just some house cleaning. We're using Restream, and so we're restreaming to multiple sites: LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. We are trying to grow our watch hours on YouTube. So if it's not too much to ask and you want to continue to support me and and actually Mel now as well, our content, if you could watch from the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, that would be awesome. If it's too much and you don't want to deal with closing the Chrome tabs and moving over to YouTube, it's all good. But you could definitely help support us by boosting our watch hours at YouTube by watching from there. So thank you for joining us. I'll every once in a while thank people. So definitely let us know where you're coming in from. It looks like we've got someone from Australia here. So hello, Australia. I can chat and see chat messages from all the social media sites, but I cannot send a chat message out to all the social media sites. Unfortunately, Restream only supports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So LinkedIn, I do not believe you can see our chat messages. So I'll be using audio instead. Tess, welcome from Maryland. Thank you for joining us. Davin, thank you for joining us. Who else do we have here? Charlie. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. So I'm going to start out the show with just a little bit about, well, you know who I am, so I'll kind of, well, okay. For some of you who don't know me and are meeting us for the first time, I'll introduce myself. Mel will introduce herself. She's actually a bigger deal than me. I know I talk about you hear about me on other shows, and I'm sure you've seen my work. So I'm sure a lot of you know who I am. But like I said, the person I really want you to get to know today is my wife, Mel. The meet cute of us meeting at Black Hat briefings. A lot of people don't know that. We actually met at Black Hat and
started a few companies.
Yeah, and then started just a bunch of companies together. So she's got that entrepreneurial blood, and that's one of the things that I love the most about our. Hey, Amy from Vegas. Oh, Amy! Thanks for joining us. Amy Zill's watching right now. So she's an actress in several of our films. So we'll talk more about that. But so let me know in the chat. I can see all of your messages. So let me know in chat if for any reason our audio starts to suck or anything like that. We have dedicated fiber coming into our house, so hopefully it doesn't. But you should be able to hear both Mel and myself at this point. All right, so quickly, introductions. So for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, recovering hacker. I've been doing this for 22 years. I'm a breaker at heart. I love to break things. More recently, over the last few years, outside of publishing my book on hacking connected cars, I've started and sold multiple companies. So I've been in on the buy side and sell side of M&A, and more recently, I've become a filmmaker. So many of you have probably seen our short films that we've been publishing recently, like Catastrophe Inc. and Underdog Games. There's more coming. We film once a month. And so I guess that's the quick short on who I am. Mel and I have started a family of companies. So we have this umbrella company, Night Group, and that owns a bunch of subsidiary LLCs like Night Events, Night Capital, Night Inc., which is our content creation firm. API Secure, which is starting tomorrow, is under Night Events, obviously. So that's going to be the company that's running all of the annual security conferences that we're starting. And then next is, I'm forgetting something.
Night Studios.
Night Studio. Of course, Night Studios. Night Studios. So we're also filmmakers. We own a production company. We just bought our first production van. We're super excited about that. So we have a production van that we use now for going to our film sets. So we shoot sometimes in Hollywood as well as here in Vegas, where I'm sure Amy Zill, who's joined us today, would like us to shoot more in Vegas. So she doesn't have to go to LA. But we're fortunate enough to have some of our cast here for some of our films that we've been filming. Amy Zeal is one of our amazing actresses who's starred in several of our films. So we're excited about that. So Night Studios is our film production company. So basically where this all started was Night Inc., right? We created this concept of adversarial content where we're proving the efficacy of a product by hacking something, right? So great example of how this all started was when a small little startup called Sentinel-1 came to us and said, hey, look, we'd really like a white paper on our new IoT security product coming out called Sentinel-1 Ranger. And so I said, okay, well, I was talking to the CEO, Tamer, and I said, look, Tamer, what if I were to park my car in the parking lot of a bank and hack the bank through the CCTV cameras in the parking lot?
Sure.
And it went really well. It was awesome and wildly successful. And so thus was born this idea or concept of adversarial content through the lens of the adversary. So the Night Inc. took off, right? It exploded. We were doing these amazing white papers. I'm sure many of you have read a lot of them. And now there's been a growing demand for film and for video, right? And I'm sure that's, what would you say, the Gen Zers and millennials coming in and the TikTok generation, like, I want video, right? So we started this new film production company, Night Studios. That's really the company that we're doing all these films under. So there's a lot of really exciting news. I do want to mention this. Actually, why don't you mention it about the premiere event?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So no, you do it. Yeah, I'm talking too much.
We're premiering one evening at the AMC during RSA in San Francisco. So we're very excited about that.
Woo! That's Mel's like way more reserved than I am. We balance each other out really well. Where I'm this huge ball of excitement and suck all the energy out of the room, and she kind of levels me out and just kind of grounds me. Yeah, so super excited. She's being awesome. I'm really proud of her and all the work that she and I have done together to make this happen. We're excited for our clients, Blast Wave, who we're doing this launch event under. So we are premiering our first film at AMC theaters at AMC Metreon in San Francisco. If you're going to be at RSA, find the post in my LinkedIn pulse feed. Find my posts out there or on Twitter or whatever, where I have links to the registration. Go get your tickets. They're free. Right now, we're only limiting the seating to 55 people in the theater. So it is going to be a typical kind of Hollywood premiere event where there's limited seating. So go get your tickets. If you are going to be at RSA, get yourself and
it's
someone
free.
else a ticket. Yeah, it's free. Good point. It's free. There's no cost. So we're covering all the costs for that, or I should say Blast Wave is. So we're excited for Blast Wave. We're excited about that. What else is kind of going on in Night World? We just finished the construction on our house. So we're excited about that. Well, okay, not fully finished it.
It's
like
almost there.
Partly finished. Here, where we're filming right now is the upstairs of our house. It's the office area. So Mel gave me the room up here for my recording studio, for my YouTube studio. And then in the main area here where we're at right now is our office area. So behind the camera, and we'll do an office tour. We're planning on doing an office tour and a studio tour. We've got our desk behind the camera. We have sound treatment from GIK Acoustics. So we have these panels on the wall. I don't know if you can see them. It's not in frame. So we have these panels on the wall for absorbing the echo to prevent echo. And then, so we're still in the process of that.
Sound panel right there.
Oh yeah. You could see that. There's one right behind me. It's a bass trap. So we're gonna put more. We're gonna put some on the ceilings, and then my recording studio, my YouTube studio, has them as well. So we're excited about that. Anything else kind of going on? It feels like there's always something going on in Night World where everyone's like, oh my God, what company has Alyssa and Mel started now?
We're filming next week.
Yeah, so we're super excited about that. Shout out to our clients, No Name Security. We're starting filming on their new series next week called Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. A lot of work's gone into that.
Oh yeah, a ton of work.
There's going to be an FBI car chase scene. I won't no spoilers, but there's going to be a car chase scene, and it's going to be super cool. And every single I got to get a shout out to our production team, because it really feels like it really, we wouldn't be here without them. They're great at what they do.
Yeah.
Our DP Trevor, Bobby, our editor and color grader. So Jack Lazarin for sound. I'm forgetting Marcus Pena for sound mixer. Matt, my first AD, Matt, her brother. So he's amazingly talented as well. Anyway, so you guys are probably like, okay, let's talk about APIs, right? Like we're here for APIs, API hacking. So first and foremost, API Secure Conference, register. It's free. APIsecure.co? APIsecure.co. I should know that, right? APIsecure.co. Go register for your ticket. It starts tomorrow. 2 full days, 60 plus talks, 60 plus speakers. We're super excited. We put a lot into this. I want to thank API Days, Baptiste, Ori, Dennis, Yvonne, all of the team over at API Days.
Medi.
Medi. We've all come together, and also I want to thank our sponsors. Our platinum sponsor, Traceable, No Name, all the other sponsors that have come in and support us. I knew obviously that I knew that it would be successful, but I mean I feel like it was bigger than that.
I'm very impressed with the turnaround of registrations.
So we've almost 1,000 attendees at this point. So we're super excited about it. It's been awesome. So please definitely register. Mel and I will be doing some keynotes, opening up the conference. We've got some presentations. I have a workshop for women and non-binary identified attendees. So those of you who want to learn how to hack APIs with a hands-on workshop, I will be there tomorrow. So speaking about hacking APIs, so the neat thing about Mel and I is I'm red team, hacker. She's blue team. Mel, do you want to tell everyone about yourself before I start getting into the API hacking? I feel like I kind of skipped that. So you want to introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and what you've done?
I
And
think they all know now. I mean, you talk about me all the time on
come on, don't be
podcasts.
modest.
So
Don't be
yeah,
modest.
just 20 years in the space, and not longer supported the Department of Defense, in their Security Operations Center, as well as the Department of Energy here in Las Vegas, under the NNSA, which was a fantastic opportunity because you get to look at different enclaves and security postures and so forth. And of course, moving from the government sector to the corporate sector, I actually helped build the first SOC here on the Las Vegas Strip under Sands Corp, which was also a great opportunity because I got to fly to Singapore, Macau, and also, a couple of properties in the States to do that. And if those of you who don't know who they own here in Vegas, it's the Venetian and Palazzo. And then working for Herjavec Group as their VP of Managed Services, where I had a great time, in my tenure for 5 years to build really successful security operations. And of course, then building our companies with Alyssa. So
yeah, so I feel like we have this amazing dynamic in our marriage where I'm really super focused on being a breaker, and on the offensive side of cybersecurity, you're more on the defensive.
sure.
So she provides an awesome input and angle to white papers, to blogs, to videos on the defense side. And I just think it's this really cool marriage where hacker marries a CISO. It's really crazy. It's really weird.
Your job's I would say a lot easier though, because we have to follow rules and policies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What do they say? Defenders, you always, you have to get it right every time.
Right.
I only have to get it right once.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about having Mel here and have her being a part of the show. I'm really excited about our new show, Night Squared. So let's talk about hacking APIs. So basically, one thing that I want all of you to understand is that first and foremost, what is an API? For those of you who there's probably beginners here who don't know what an API is, all the way up to maybe senior level API pen testers. But for those of you who are beginners who don't know what an API is, it's really simple. I like to use the analogy of a light socket, right? So a light socket in your house is pretty much like an API, right? It doesn't care what you plug into the electrical socket as long as it fits, right? And it's, the prongs, 2 prongs, 3 prongs, whatever. So as long as it fits in the socket, it doesn't matter. You could be charging your iPhone, you could be charging your hair dryer, you could be powering your TV, whatever it may be. An API doesn't care what's at the other end pulling that data, or in the case of the analogy, pulling electricity. The back-end electrical provider, whether it's nuclear, coal, whatever is generating the electricity, they don't care either.
The electric company.
Yeah, the electric company, they don't care. So the electric company doesn't care whether it's your iPhone plugged up to the socket or they're just providing electricity. So that's my favorite analogy because it gives you an idea of kind of what is what. So the electrical socket's the API, the backend electrical provider is pretty much the backend database, the servers. People have used the waiter analogy in a restaurant where like the waiters are the API and the backend chef and the kitchen, they're the backend servers and databases. And the waiter is going back there with your order, bringing the food out. It's like you're the customer requesting the food. In the case of an API, you're the mobile app or the web browser requesting the data from the API, and the API is getting that data from the server, right? So that's an API. Right, so that's hopefully that makes sense. Feel free, you guys and girls, to put your questions in the chat. I'm monitoring chat so I can see what all of you are saying. So put the Q&A in there and I'll go through the questions at some point. Venezuela, thank you for joining us. I have no idea what time it is there. Hopefully you're not up too late. So that's an API. So API penetration testing. Let's look at it as 2 different types of APIs. There's mobile APIs, and then there's web APIs, where you've got your app on your mobile phone talking to the API, or you've got a web browser talking to an API endpoint, right? So I'll break this conversation down into those two things, mobile APIs and web APIs. On the mobile API side, one of the first things that I do in my tactics and techniques is I'll use, I prefer Android. You can obviously do this on iOS, and a tool that you can go download right now for free called MobSF is it supports both iOS apps and Android apps. So I prefer Android because I feel like there's way more security controls with iOS and Apple, and that you have to jump through all of these additional hoops. It works, it supports it, but it's just a pain in the butt. I'm
Yeah.
all about simple and easy. So get yourself an Android phone or an Android tablet.
Didn't you also figure out a way to do it on your Mac though with an application?
Yeah. So I'll talk about that, but basically on the mobile app side, that's a good point because I want to bring that up too for network traffic interdiction. But so on the Android app side, you download the Android app from the app store that you wanna hack. Let's say you want to go after a bank or a cryptocurrency exchange, and you obviously in a sanctioned, right? Like they know about it. I'm not endorsing illegal activity right now. Anyway, so don't do that. Alyssa, go on Twitter. Alyssa told me that I should do. Okay, so yeah, don't do illegal things. So basically, download the Android app that you're going after. There's a tool in the Google Play Store called Apk Extractor, and Apk Extractor will actually allow you to extract the mobile app off of the Android device and upload it somewhere.
Right.
So I usually upload that to Google Drive. So I've got my cryptocurrency wallet app. Let's use that as an example and pick on crypto right now. And I'll upload it to my Google Drive, and then I'll download the APK file onto my host, onto my Mac. I use a Mac, so a lot of the instructions and walkthroughs that all of you will see on my blog articles and my videos are Mac. You can do this on a PC. You can do this on Linux. So don't say that trolls, put your guns down. I'm not saying you can only do this on Mac. But download a tool called MobSF, Mobile Security Framework. It's a free GitHub project. Just go Google it. And what it does is it allows you to literally drag and drop into a web interface the APK file. And so the APK file is nothing more than just like a packaged file. Think of it like a zip archive, a packaged file of files that belong to that Android app. And so what it does is it reverses it back to the source code, and it allows me to then grep the app for hard-coded API keys and tokens, hard-coded usernames and passwords. And
That's crazy.
yeah, it's and even in today, like 2022, we're still seeing hard-coded usernames and passwords in mobile apps. Banks, cryptocurrency exchanges were really bad. We're about to release some research on that, which is going to be really cool. So yeah, it's still happening today. Developers are still hard coding these things in the mobile app. So MobSF, after I'm done with that and I scrape the source code for as many keys and tokens and passwords as I can, then I move on to what Mel brought up, which was network traffic interdiction and what I call woman in the middle attacks or man in the middle attacks, depending on what you want to call it. Now, I use a collection of tools. Burp Suite is one tool that you can use. There's also a tool called Minim Proxy. And it basically...
And these are all free on the net.
These are all free, yeah. Those are all free. So let's say, for example, Mel and I are talking to each other. The way a man in the middle attack or woman in the middle attack or person in the middle attack works is, let's say this laptop right here is the, I'll just call it the person in the middle. This person in the middle is running Minim Proxy and intercepting all the traffic. What it's doing is it's sending a certificate my way and saying, hey, I'm the API. And then it's sending a certificate to Mel, who's the API, and saying, hey, I'm the mobile client. I'm the API client. And she thinks she's talking to me when in fact she's talking to the laptop. And I think I'm talking to her when in fact I'm talking to the laptop. It allows the PIDM tool, person in the middle attack tool, to decrypt the TLS/SL encrypted traffic. So I've had people troll me and say, Alyssa, this is BS. It's encrypted. How can you see this? It's because the person in the middle attack tool is controlling the certificates, so it can decrypt them all if we're using certificates. Now, there's a way that developers can prevent this from happening, and it's called certificate pinning. Now, if you do certificate pinning at the Android, like really basic rudimentary pinning in Android, there's a tool called Frida, Frida, that I use to actually circumvent pinning. And a lot of developers surprisingly rely on this. I don't know if they can't get budget to buy things like AppDome or something like that, but it's.
You discovered this during your most recent hack.
Yeah. So good point.
Most recent hack.
Literally, like what I'm in the middle of right now, and have had a chance to play with Frida, and I think we should release a tutorial on this, on how to use Frida to circumvent certificate pinning. That would be cool. Or in a video. I'm sure. Look, give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment on this video. Let me know if you think if that's something you would want to read, is a tutorial on how to circumvent certificate pinning in mobile apps in order to go to decrypt that traffic and go after the APIs. So okay. So a person in the middle attack. Then I'll decrypt the traffic and look in the packets at the API request. So then once I have all of I push every button in the app, I record the packet, I do every option that the app supports, and I'll put those in a spreadsheet. I'll throw those every single option into a spreadsheet, and I'll paste the API request in there, and then I'll paste the body of the request in there. So then what do I do? Guess. Basically, if you guess this, you're right. I then take those API requests and then I paste them into Postman, which is an API client, and I mutate the request. I change the IDs from my ID to someone else's ID, or my credit card number to someone else's credit card number, or my wallet account to a different wallet ID, right? So it's called broken object level authorization, or BOLA attacks. So first is really kind of reverse the APK file back to the source code, find the hard-coded secrets, API secrets in there, go on to doing person in the middle attacks tools, extracting those API requests so I can better understand how the API works, and then fuzzing them, like fuzzing the request, trying different things that the developer didn't think the app would receive. That's kind of, and I talked about this on the show today with David, and that show will be coming out soon. But one of the things I said is he loved my definition of hacking. And like, how would you define hacker? What is a hacker to you?
To me, a hacker's a breaker.
Okay, that's accurate. Definitely a breaker, someone who just
not
evil, not necessarily good, just somebody that can take something apart and break it,
put it back together.
Okay, so that's exactly very similar to my definition. My definition of a hacker is someone that sends stimulus to something that the developer didn't expect to receive. That's hacking to me. It's learning how something works and then sending stimulus to that application or device that the developer didn't intend and didn't account for, and then having that application crash or execute code that you introduce, ultimately gaining you a shell. But in the case of an API, trying to break out of what I'm authorized to do. So if I'm logged into my bank as me, I want to try and access money or perform wire transfers or whatever using your account. Right. So BOLA, traditional BOLA attack. And that's how, for those of you who didn't know, recently I published research called Scorched Earth, where I hacked 55 banks and cryptocurrency exchanges, pin drop. I was like, what?
Cryptocurrency.
In less than a week. Sponsored by No Name Security. And that was crazy.
That's scary.
So that was like a week, right? Yeah. Like it was insane. And I actually was subsequently keynoted at Money 2020 about it, and talked about how in less than a week I had hacked 55 banks and cryptocurrency exchanges, their mobile apps and APIs. So huge thing. And it's just my Kool-Aid right now. Like I'm just obsessed with APIs at the moment. Unfortunately, there aren't that many of us out there, which is, I think, the impetus to us wanting to set out and create this conference, right? Is we need more women, we need more diversity in API security, non-binary, what have you. And just in general, I think like it was really challenging for us to find speakers for API secure.
Yeah.
It was hard because it's not like a general security conference where you're like, let's get a bunch of security engineers and CISOs together and have a conference. Because at that point you get firewall people, IDS people, SIM people, and it doesn't matter, right? But this is a niche area of security where you're saying, okay, sponsors, speakers, attendees are all really kind of in the sphere of APIs.
And I don't even think, even from the defender side, we're really thinking about how to prioritize APIs. What's the inventory look like? Do you know how many APIs are in your environment? How you're
You
monitoring
can't protect
for it?
what you can't, what
Yeah.
you don't
Do you
already
know
have.
who the account owner is for those APIs?
Yeah,
You know, who's accountable for them in the
it's
organization?
good. It's a really good point.
Yeah. So I think the conference is gonna, highlight all of those functions and, roles and responsibilities. And also we'll have a good opportunity to meet a lot of the vendors and see what their products can do to help protect the environment, right?
Yeah.
And
I think I'm excited for the workshop too.
the workshop's gonna be fun.
Yeah, because I mean, in the workshop, for those of you who want to attend, I will actually be pulling these tools out, demonstrating them, demonstrating MobSF, demonstrating
Mhm.
doing this with Burp Suite, Midden Proxy. I think these days I'm a lot lazier and trying to do the fast way. So Burp Suite is kind of like this all-in-one
Yeah.
tool to do all of it in one platform. But
I think to me, when I think of APIs, I think of direct tunnel to your corporate environment. It's
to your
giving,
data, yeah.
yeah, and it's giving an adversary complete access to it. So if they have access to your API, most likely going to have access to your corporate environment.
Well, and what are hackers after these days? Data,
Data.
right?
Yeah.
Where's the data? Like if you're if you know that you're after oil, where do you go to find oil? You go to the oil wells, you go to the oil
Right.
fields, and you drill for it. If hackers are out to profit off of data, lock and leak, ransomware, ransom the company, whatever, steal the data and leak it, and then encrypt it and ransom the company for it, you go where the data is, and that's where APIs are. Gartner just recently, I don't know if you read this report, but Gartner recently came out with a report where they talked about how APIs are going to be the #1 attack vector in 2022.
I believe it.
It's
Didn't they
it's
put
huge.
out was a percentage, 80 something percent?
Yeah,
I don't know the
yeah.
exact number. I can't remember, but it's like 83, 84%.
It's crazy. Like, APIs are so ubiquitous today. They're everywhere. People don't understand. Like your cars, you're driving around, and you don't have to be driving around in a Tesla. I see someone in the audience said that they bought my book, Hacking Connected Cars. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay. Write us a positive review on my book on Amazon, please.
APIs are next.
Yeah, API, the API book.
Yeah.
So the spoiler alert, I'm coming out with a new book. My plan is to try and get it done. You may think I'm crazy, but I'm going to try and get it done before Black Hat.
No.
You don't think it'll happen?
Nah. Everyone's too busy. End of year. End of
Okay,
year. End
okay,
of year.
December 31.
Yeah.
All right,
let's do end of
so
year.
so
December.
I'm gonna. Mel knows like I'm not really good at estimating time frames, but I think I can get it done tomorrow. And she's like, Alyssa, December 31st.
End of year.
So I think, end of year. So that's my next book. I love Wiley. There was a little bit of controversy around this. People were like, oh my God, why isn't Alyssa publishing with Wiley with her new book? I love Wiley. Jim Minitel is a dear friend of ours. He's a great guy. We love him. Jim, if you're out there, I love you. They gave me my first big break as a published author, which was awesome. I mean, to be able to say that you're a published author with Wiley versus being self-published, and it's a big deal, right? And so I'm very thankful to Wiley for that. But I think at the end of the day, this is going to sound awful. Like, don't judge, don't judge. But they were taking way too much money from the sales. Like, it's a huge percentage. Like, so I think I sat down with my wife and I was like, hey, Mel, we're running all these other companies. Why not just start a publishing company and publish my new books under Knight Publishing?
Makes sense.
So
any books that are bought today we don't get any percentage of that.
Well, we do, but it has to. The commissions for each book sale needs to
Exceed a certain amount.
what they advanced for the book,
I
which was
see.
a lot. And so
Okay.
now,
I mean,
they
right.
were like, there's a percentage, but it goes towards what they advanced for the book. But basically, it's going to be a really long time before that happens.
10 years.
Well, I'll probably be dead by the time that happens. I wonder what happens after I die. What they do with the book sale commissions? Like, does that go to my next of kin, or what happens?
I have
there?
no idea.
Anyway, so new book, Hacking APIs, is coming. I'll do a book signing at the next conference once it's done. So, okay, let's
Any
see.
questions?
Let's look at some questions here. Hey, you guys, tune in with some questions. We'll go through them. Oh, Jax. Hey, Jax. We love you too. Thank you for joining us. Oh, what happens if I click on that? Oh, cool. I can put questions up there. Okay, Jeremiah Rowe. Jeremiah, I love you, Jerry. I love you, Jeremiah. You're amazing. Jeremiah Sinak.
Sweet.
He's amazing. We love you. I had a great time on his show. For those of you who didn't see it, go check it out. It's amazing. It's a great show. I like to think of an API as a server in a restaurant. The server doesn't know nor care how the food is made, data. They just bring you the food. How they do it is up to the restaurant protocols.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. It probably
Perfect.
okay, Jeremiah, my electrical socket analogy kind of sucks compared to the restaurant. But I feel like everyone uses the restaurant analogy for APIs, so I kind of want to be different and like electrical socket in the house. Anyway, yeah, Jeremiah, yours is better. All right. Thanks, Jeremiah. Let's see. Just tune in. So glad to see live stream, Melissa. Yeah, thanks, California. So, okay, so consistency. I want to talk about this for a minute. All right. I owe all of you an apology. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've published a new Night TV and a new Nightlife episode on ITSP Magazine. Sean and Marcus, if you're out there, I love you. I'm sorry. I promise I'm back. Mel and I've just been really super busy, but that's not
Also,
a good
your
excuse.
studio has been
Yeah,
not
we've been
functional.
having construction crazes. I feel bad for any of you if you're trying to build a house or furnish a house in the middle of a pandemic. It
a long time.
sucks. It sucks. Like it took us what, 6 months to get our bed, like 8 months to get our couch. It's crazy.
It's the world we live in now.
So anyway, I'm not going to make excuses. It's on me. I'm sorry, California. Thank you. It's good to be back. I promise all of you, I'm going to endeavor to post at least once a week. I have to.
And
it's got to be done.
yeah, we'll do a studio tour. I think that's it.
Yeah, we'll do. I think that's the next one. TJ O'Leary, thank you. I can't wait to see the book too. So a lot of you may not know, we haven't really been too vocal about this or public about this, but so as many of you know, some of you know, I just contradicted myself, but as some of you know, a producer came to me to publish a new series on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Apple TV. We're gonna bid it out and see whoever gives us the most money. Anyway, I sound like this greedy person right now. But a new Netflix series based on my life. And so we went to the producer and said, we have our own production company. We're gonna produce this ourselves. So we kind of took it back and we're gonna produce it. We probably sound awful to all of you, but I call it, capitalism. We're just capitalists.
Well, that, and I think you also want to have a lot more freedom what you do.
Yeah, that's true.
standpoint.
Versus someone else directing it, and like the series is going to be based on my life when I was arrested at 17. Went to go work for the U.S. intelligence community in cyber warfare, and kind of my journey along the way and growing up, and what I did for the U.S. intelligence community, and it makes for a great script, right? It makes for a great series. I just didn't realize how much work goes into creating screenplays for an entire season of episodes versus one movie. It's like 5 full-length movies. Anyway, so that's coming. And so, we've been wrapped up in that. Night Studios has been filming. Client work comes first, and it's just been tough to keep up with everything. Anyway, TJ O'Leary, thank you. I can't wait as well. I'll get started on that soon. Yeah, Davin, would have loved to. Hey, Davin, how you doing, man? All my love. I couldn't get the time off work. Really mad I missed this opportunity to speak. Yeah, it's all good. Love you. There's always future opportunities. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you. Davin also asked, do I do source code analysis? So dead code analysis or static code analysis with the apps, that's pretty much what you're doing with MobSF is static code analysis. Now, for those of you who don't know, MobSF also supports dynamic code analysis, and that's basically live analysis where you're actually executing the app and it's looking for insecure things or bad things that the app is doing that it shouldn't be doing. And so, yeah, but static code analysis, Davin, is exactly what I'm doing. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Yes, please, from Luis Perez. Yes, of course. Yeah, we got a lot of yeses on that. That was when I asked all of you if you'd like me to put together a write-up on Frida. I think that would be great content.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, a lot of apps, more apps definitely need to be doing it. It's definitely not pervasive enough. There's a lot of apps, financial services, fintech, cryptocurrency wallets that are not pinning their apps to prevent MIDM attacks
But
or
Frida can
WIDM
still
attacks.
bypass it.
Yeah, but free. Yeah, there's no silver. Davin, all of you know, without me saying this, there's no silver bullet in security. So I kind of hate saying it because people say it so much, but it's true. There's no silver bullet. You know that as a CISO. You know, there's no silver bullet.
No.
And so
There's got to be ways we can monitor it or detect it or have better signals, because there's not. I haven't seen anything good out there.
yeah,
yet.
you're a signals girl. You
Yeah.
love signals. Yeah, Mel's a big packet monkey log analyst, sim girl. But yeah, she's right. I mean, it's the thing about it is it's not, pinning isn't being done enough, and it is very easy to implement and administer. A big reason, so for those of you who are like in the chat, like, Alyssa, why don't people pin apps? It's so easy to do. Well, you know what I'm about to say. It's because it's really easy to brick an app. And if you have an app rolled out to, you know, millions of people and you accidentally brick the app, you got a real problem because of a, you know, bad certificate, or the certificate expires, or you just screw up. You can brick your app. So a lot of organizations are scared to implement pinning, and you know, for that to happen. So but there's a lot of solutions out there. I won't name any on the show, but there's a lot of solutions out there that make administration of certificate pinning easy and a lot easier to implement and maintain.
Or, I mean, if you're an API owner, I mean, definitely I encourage teams to red team the crap out of their APIs.
Yeah, for sure.
Basis.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, yeah, pen test, hack your own stuff. You know, like Detectify says, go hack yourself, you know. But yeah, for sure. Amy Zeal, we love you too. Awesome. Hey, John from Texas. Thanks for joining us. I don't see any new questions unless I'm missing them. If I missed the question, don't take it personally. I'm just trying to scroll through a lot of them. I can answer them offline, or feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter, DM me. Happy to answer any other questions. But I know we're pretty much over time now at this point. But is there anything else you want to cover or talk about?
No, I think
first show together.
Projects I know we're going to get involved in is hacking drones. You want to bring that up?
Hacking what?
Drones.
Oh yeah. So okay. A lot of people will approach me with ideas for vulnerability research, like, Alyssa, your new vulnerability research should be this or that. You know, we had this state, a certain state in the United States approached us about hacking those connected trains. So there's a certain state in the U.S. that's rolling out. You could probably guess who it is.
Autonomous.
Yeah, rolling out autonomous trains. And obviously these communicate with APIs, and there's an attack surface with these new fleets of connected trains. And they wanted to bring me in to hack them. The thing about it is that because our world revolves around our client work, right? At Night Inc. and Night Studios, we can't be everywhere at once. And although a project will sound exciting, it needs to be sponsored by a client, right? So, for example, for those of you who saw the Scorched Earth research, you saw that that was sponsored by No Name. The fire research was sponsored by Approve. Every single vulnerability research campaign that I start where I'm hacking things is sponsored by a client. So we always wait until that research is sponsored. But we have some new interesting research coming out with hacking drones that we're starting on. So we're excited about that. It's just, use and girls need to understand something. APIs are everywhere. Everything is talking to APIs. You don't need to be driving around in a Tesla. Any car made after 2001 is communicating with an API. You know, APIs are everywhere. It's not just the apps on your mobile phone. So yeah, super pervasive and ubiquitous. They're just everywhere. So there's unfortunately very few hackers out there and penetration testers focused on hacking APIs. So if you want to learn how to hack APIs, there's a lot of great videos as well on my YouTube channel where I share my screen and walk you through some of these tools. So check them out. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that bell icon for new uploads and live streams, and attend the API Secure Conference. It's going to be cool. I'm super excited.
Starts early, so Pacific time is
around 7 p.m. I think, yeah, but we have to be up at 5 a.m. Pacific to start stuff. Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
like, it's
Yep.
7 a.m. time frame.
Yeah, so again, apsecure.co. If you haven't registered yet, definitely do that. And I guess that's it for the end of our first show together, Night Squared. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Amy, it was good seeing you. Thank you, everyone, from just people from all over the world, Venezuela. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting our channel. Again, help me with my watch hours. Watch my videos on my YouTube channel. Even if you go in your living room, go to my YouTube channel on your television and just start playing videos and then walk out of the room. Do that. It'll still boost our watch time. So definitely help us with the watch time. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. Be good to yourselves and each other. And thank you again for joining us tonight.